and then you went and put it on the same weekend as with somewhere else. My front cover disappeared. So when you do your next one, don't do it on the same weekend as the weekend. But talk amongst yourselves. She can tell you about acting on stage and how you do fantasy on stage or whatever. She can ask you questions about what does this mean in this book, because I don't understand the joke. Whatever. Go wherever you want. Thankful about that.
Lovely. Excellent, that's great. Well, yeah.
Excuse me, so how long did it cook?
That was me.
Oh, right.
Thanks a lot. That's great, thank you. Yeah, as I said, this is the Timonian's first production of a Terry Pratchett piece, which is really exciting. When I first moved down to Tavistock, one of the first things I did down here to kind of like get involved was be asked to play Nanny Og in the Weird Sisters, and I wanted to know, I love the Wicks. I thought, I don't know, yeah, possibly I've got time to do that. So I did that around various villages and loved it. It worked really well. And then we were going to do another production. We were going to follow that on with a production of Maskerade. And it never quite happened due to kind of bookings and things like that. Always stuck in my head as a brilliant show to do. So I was thinking, I'd like to do it at some point. And then with the Devonians, this company in Tavistock, they were stuck for a show. So what can we do? And I said, well, possibly a show which might work well is a little show by Terry Pratchett called Maskerade. What's that? Is it singing? Is it opera? I went, no, not quite. And then they said, well, they didn't understand Terry Pratchett. And I said, tell us about Terry Pratchett. Went, right, where do you start? So yes, having sold it to the committee, they said, oh yeah, it sounds like an interesting piece, let's do it. So due to various circumstances, it's been kind of taken quite a while to actually come to fruition, and finally it's this season to do. But as I said, Dave was saying, it's a shame it was this weekend. Well, it has been absolutely beset with problems. We booked it for next week. It was due to be next week. Couldn't have it next week for various reasons. Our venue wasn't available because there's a big event on in Tavistock that weekend, so we couldn't have the venue that weekend. So we brought it the week before, so that's okay. So we'd avoid that nasty big event. And then the powers that be have then brought the event that was next weekend forward, so it clashes. So we had a Dickensian evening in the middle of our production. So it's that kind of like, oh, we should have stuck with next week. And then if anybody else says to me, oh, it's a shame you're doing it this week, because if you were doing it next week or the week before, that would have been really, yes, I know, it would have been really useful, thank you very much. So yeah, so it's a bit of a nightmare. So we're having to deal with various things like stilt walkers, jugglers, a carousel on the front of our venue. So it'll be good.
It's true that we're enjoying the masses.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm thinking the best front of house entertainment that a show's been. But yeah, no, it'll be good. We have in Tavistock a little theatre called The Wharf, and I didn't want to do the show there because it didn't seem to lend, and it wasn't right. It was a bit too ordinary, a bit too theatrical, and I just didn't like it. Walked into our town hall, and I thought this is the venue to do it. The town hall is a beautiful, the upper room, the front room is a beautiful big room. It has dark wood panelling all the way around it, and it has chandeliers all the way along, and it has great big blue velvet curtains all the way, and these huge gothic kind of gold rimmed picture frames of these, actually I don't know who they are, but they're very scary looking people. So so I walked into that space and thought, well, this is really asking to be the space where we create kind of Ankh-Morpork opera houses. So that was my feeling. That's what I wanted to do. I desperately wanted to do the show in that space. So we pushed for that and kicked up the fuss and said I want it there. So that's what we've done. So for 1 week only, Tavistock Town Hall is going to become Ankh Moorpark Opera House. And yeah, and so in order to really kind of create the space, I didn't want to, they have a little stage at one end. I didn't want to use the stage, so we're using the whole space. At one end of the room, there's a beautiful, great big stone fireplace, and then above it, there's this fantastic big balcony, which looks like a ship's prow balcony type thing. So we're using that end on the floor as the office and Christine's bedroom and the Phantom's lair and various things. And then we're also using the top balcony as the theatre balcony and boxing, that sort of thing. So it's a fantastic venue for the play, and it's very atmospheric, and it's going to be really good fun. So yeah, and then we're having the audience are actually going to be part of. They're going to be part of it. So in many ways, because it's the opera house, so they're going to be part of it. So the audience are going to be the audience in the opera house. So that's really where we're at with it. Has kind of various staging problems in that it goes straight from things like the blasted heath straight to kind of the opera house, then straight to waiting for the carriage to go to Annie Moorpark. So it's kind of some very fast changes, some very fast scene changes. And because we're using the room, how we're doing that is the opera house stage, and the actual opera house we're creating a small stage sort of along the side of the room, and then using different parts of the room to be different areas. So like I said, the office and things will be on that side, and then the inn and the carriage will be on this side. So it will move directly along with clever use of lighting. So but it's been great fun. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's been really good. One of our main problems has been trying to transform Grebo from a small stuffed cat into a very tall 6'4" young man with kind of like dark curly hair and things like that. So it's good. He's absolutely perfect for the part.
You've just got a whole lot of women.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Leather trousers.
Pardon?
Leather trousers.
Yeah, leather trousers.
Oh, has to be leather trousers.
Fancy shirt. Fantastic dark curly hair. It's really good. So that's been a problem trying to work out how to get him to magically transform. But yeah, that seems to have been kind of my problem in the last couple of plays I've directed. There's always a transformation or a kind of scene that I have to make one person start there and then appear up there. So never do things simply. So it does work though. So he has to kind of squeeze himself into this box on which the cat basket is placed. So, and again, never use of lighting. So I think that will work. So that's fun. And then also the other awkward thing is trying to transform Mr. Pounder. As he transforms and then speaks to Death of Rats, because he's the rat catcher, and speaks to Death of Rats. And so how we're doing that is we're popping Death up onto the balcony at a distance, sort of, and sort of in the proper Death cloak. So yeah, but also, and it's really difficult to try and get across the fact that he's speaking in capital letters. So that doesn't quite come across when you're actually performing. So, but it's been great fun, and I love the Discord novels. I've always loved them. I've always thought they're amazing right the way through. Love the way they kind of flow through. But to try to explain to some people who really have not got an idea about just so it's the story. Well, you can't say that really. It's not really a story of anything. It's kind of lots of ideas and lots of different ideas, but I think they're beginning to get the idea of it. So, and rehearsals have been great fun with lots of shrieking and laughter. So hopefully, if that's anything to go by, when we actually get to the performances, it's going to be brilliant. It's a script that's been adapted by Stephen Reese.
Oh, Brixie.
It's the problem. I love his adaptations because they work really well to the books. You can read the script. There are a couple of little tweaks in it that you kind of think, oh, okay. Because in the script, Granny Weatherwax, when they're being attacked by the thieves, she says, haven't you got mothers? And in the book, it's Mrs. Clinch that says that line. So it's that kind of.
The reason for me asking is that I was very impressed how they did start materials from the film into part play.
Mm-hmm.
And you realise that a different media needs a lot of change and a lot of adaptation.
Definitely.
And so I just wondered if you had to plan a story.
No.
Taken a full script.
It's taken a full script. I've had to change it slightly because Stephen's adapted it and has written it beautifully for a specific setting. So he's written it as to be performed on a stage, which is quite specific. So he's set it on a stage with a kind of curtained area. So you create two spaces on the stage and then a balcony above. And the audience is there. So the simplest thing would have been to do it in that way. I don't do things simply, so I took it from there to create it in a whole space. So it's being done in the whole room. The whole building is becoming the opera house, down to outside as well. So outside in the square, we will have jugglers, and on one night particularly we'll have also still walkers and carousel, which I know is pretty good going, and roasted chestnuts and things. But there'll be kind of like jugglers and kind of like fire eaters and things outside, front of house, people dressed in costume, welcoming people in. So as soon as people hit kind of like the great big square, the whole edifice of the building is going to be that world. And we're using not the normal stairs that they would normally come into the town hall. With the back staircase is fantastic because it's these old kind of concrete stone stairs, so they're just perfect. So, and up all the way up the stairs are going to be posters of past productions, past Ankh-Morpork Opera House productions, etc. So as soon as they walk into the square, it will be walking into that world. So that will be good. So but I looked at when I did. I said I played Nanny Og in Weird Sisters and loved it. That's been a difficulty with this show. My Nanny Og is brilliant. She's fantastic. I love her. She's really, really good. But I sit there going, it's my part. I want to play my part. I want to be clever. I want to be directing. I want to be acting. So that's. But she's actually brilliant. So, and my Granny Weatherwax is amazing. They're a very, very good team. So that works quite well. I did Weird Sisters and loved it. Then we started with Maskerade, and then for various reasons that didn't happen. But when we were looking for a second production after Weird Sisters, we looked at Lords and Ladies. Amazing. It's an amazing book, an amazing story. And we looked at that, and I think we actually looked at a script. I think there is a script of that one.
Yes.
We looked at that script. Fantastic, beautifully done. But we looked at it and read it and thought, actually, to do it real justice, it's not. We didn't feel it was a theatre experience. We thought that would have been a film experience. That Lords and Ladies would be the most amazing film because of all the elves coming out, and it would just be so magical and so kind of so scary as well. And it has that kind of darkness to it that you just would have to put so much more of a budget into. And to do it on film would be fantastic. And I didn't feel that we would ever have the resources to do that. So, but yeah.
Somebody with Bob Theatre actually did it in the park.
Yeah.
And you had different sets, and the whole audience moved from scene to scene.
Yeah, that would work if you had it. My other thought is that I'd like to do a done installation productions at Buckland Abbey, and that's an amazing space as well, and that would be a nice thing to do it in that sort of setting. It'd be nice to do this production there as well, but so yes, that would be good. Over the summer season, I was directing at Sturts, which is an open air theatre, but it's an open air theatre with a canopy tent. That's right, yeah.
They also did an open air production of Lords and Ladies actually at the Rollright Stones.
That would work. Yeah, that would work. But you'd have to do it somewhere that gave you that extra element. So some of them don't. Some of them I think are not purely. This one works beautifully for a theatre space because it's set in theatre. It's all about theatre and theatricality of theatre. So it you know, what is theatre? So that actually works. It actually works well because it's grounded in theatre. So it does work well. But then finding the right space for that was important. And as I said, when I walked into the town hall, it's just it's beautiful. It's Gothic. It's panelled. It has a chandelier, and they're great. They were really good. I was going, so I need a chandelier that can move and can swing, and yeah, that'll be fine. Good. Lovely. That one, yeah, it's too high. We can lower it. I like this. This is good. I want to use the balcony. Yes, that's no problem. I like this. This is good. You know. So I want some staging. If I don't want it over there, I want it over there. Yes, that's fine. Good. I like this. So they've been really most helpful. So yeah, the chandeliers are gorgeous. They're beautiful. There's a set of lots of kind of metallic, kind of almost like candles, like old-fashioned, kind of very old kind of candle type ones. And then there's about 3 big chandeliers that are much bigger. And one of those is going to be lowered down, and my wonderful props person is kind of elaborating it and creating it with kind of crystals and things like that. So that will kind of look beautiful, or will look like an accident waiting to happen, to quote the book. So, but yeah, but it does work really well. But an adapter has to be very true to the book to be able to do it properly. I would not want to attempt to do that myself at all. So, but Stephen Briggs is brilliant, so that works really well. So, any other? Yeah.
When did the tickets go on sale?
Tickets are on sale now.
Oh, where from?
In Tavistock,
yeah.
Or on the website, on the Tavonians website, you can buy them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's well to know what these things are.
Absolutely, yeah.
Would you mind if fans turn up in costume as well?
Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be marvellous. Absolutely brilliant.
How do you feel about the assassins coming?
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah.
When actually are your dates that you're doing them?
Yeah, this is the problem. It's next week. So,
We're looking at the Wednesday at the moment.
Wednesday?
I think I'm being sent up country by work on the Tuesday.
Right.
So I'll be back Wednesday.
sorry to throw them at you there.
Which is really annoying. I don't know when it's meeting.
No, we're off next. I'm on this week now. Yeah, as I was saying, it's been an absolute nightmare trying to organise it, because when you said to me on the phone, I was about to, if you'd been there in person, I think I probably would have punched you. Because we said, if only it was the week later. Yes.
You want Mandy, don't you?
Absolutely. If only it had been the week later. Yes, we did want it the week later, but we were told to bring it the week forward because of this big event in Tavistock, which they then moved.
No. Oh, we've done that.
We've played that.
We've tried to avoid other conventions.
Yeah.
1 year we completely changed our date 3 times, and in the end we just said.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've always done our show that week, and it has always clashed with Dickensian, but because we've done the Christmas show in various other places, it has Parking's been a bit of a problem, so we've always started it a bit later. But actually, it's not too bad. But of course, then this year, because the show's bang in the middle of Town Stock, in the town hall, which is right in the middle of the whole Dickensian thing, we thought what we'll do is we'll move it away from the Dickensian, so it's not the same time. And Dickensian, since time immemorial, has always been the first Friday of December, apart from this year.
Yeah, but Hot Scotch is normally the first weekend in December.
Yeah.
Not the last weekend.
Yeah,
This
that's
year
right.
it's with us.
Yeah, so yeah. And so do anybody want to ask anything else? Or
Just out of curiosity,
yeah.
how many of your cast are now Terry Pratchett fans?
Well, quite a lot actually. There are at least 5 of them who have gone out and bought Maskerade itself and are reading it and went, oh wow, I'm reading Maskerade. And I understand now. So you understand, that's pretty good going. But yeah, so yeah, they are kind of, loads more are fans. So.
When Maskerade was first published, they gave away a t-shirt with it, and it said, Terry Pratchett will produce from the night of your club, and urges you to really come.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
My favourite t-shirt, which I wore out.
It's fantastic, yeah. It is very good, it's very funny.
It's exciting. A few of us were on the films with the extras.
Yes, yeah.
And the producer, the assistant producer or whatever, director or what, he's going, right, he said, so you're going to stare up there and there's something up in the sky, there's something bubbling, and just look up there and you say, oh, you mean there's a maelstrom in the evening where the creatures are coming through from the dungeons, he goes, yeah.
Exactly.
Steph, I'm asking for a rather cutting question. I mean, you hear the stories of some sort of theatre types who are 100% live and breathe this. Oh, it's wonderful, I did Bertolt Brecht last night. How many people are there? Me and the caretaker. I did a brilliant performance. How's it gone? Has it been a good one from a public interest point of view?
Is it selling your product?
Does it sell compared to we're going to do a William Shakespeare play that you all hated at school and don't want to be dragged to?
Yeah.
Is it a popular sort of response?
In other words, 8 fans show up, will we just be the audience?
8? So we're going to get that many in the audience? Yes! No, it will be good. As I said, the first thing I did was Weird Sisters, and that was when I just moved down here. And that went to various village halls, and that actually got had good audiences. I didn't know what it would be like. I didn't know what audiences down here would be like. So, but it worked well. But yes, feedback generally from people who you've spoken to. So I do, Terry Pratchett's mum. Oh, I love Terry Pratchett. So yes, it's well known. It is a well-known piece. So not well known, but the name. The Pratchett name is well known and people are looking forward to seeing it. So yes, I think it will be good. So yeah.
I can't remember if I've seen in there. Have you publicised in Disco Market?
Oh, yeah.
It's online, it's free.
Oh.
Google, it's a bit late for this production, but
Yeah.
for future ones. They list all the Discworld productions that they're going on. In fact, all over the world.
Yes, yeah.
If you contact, you might occasionally contact addendums.
Yes, yeah, puts out sort of.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll do
updates,
that.
yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because people are going to be travelling down to Kent. Swing the reason why they can't come down at weekdays early.
Yeah.
And they go to town stuff, is there really?
There are enough loonies around.
What?
There are enough loonies around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, don't worry, town stuff's so friendly.
It is, yeah. It's lovely. It's very nice.
I think next year we have to make sure you clash with us.
Yes.
So if we get a Saturday night off, because we can send them all to see you.
Absolutely, that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? That would be wonderful.
Show hang out.
Hang out, see. In
Yeah.
costume.
If you
Oh,
had
we-
to do another,
Yeah.
this is why I can't understand nobody starting this music. Would you do soul music? Nobody seems to want to do soul music. Yeah, but the musicians. No, I know, but they have copyright.
Then you've got the copyright your music as well, haven't you?
No,
Is there a
music is all the same.
Somebody wrote the music.
You have to adapt it,
Is there an adaptation of it? Is there a script of it? We'll tell Steve.
We'll tell Steve in 2 weeks' time.
There will be.
There will be. Yeah.
Why don't we just ask Bruce?
Exactly.
Because Terry owns the copyright to...
Admittedly, the agreement at the moment is any new plays, he does actually have first dibs on. Because the one I said I fancied doing as a really different style, and I couldn't see him writing it, is I thought, could you imagine doing We Three Men, but because they're so small to people, almost doing it like a Muppet show. So you could have the human characters could be humans, but your set has got lots of little nooks and crannies, and you could just have a whole lot of puppeteers popping through with McFeagle heads and doing it and disappearing.
Yeah, the trouble is, you've done too well then to steal the show, because I remember seeing the production of Guards at the Hexagon. It was one that had Paul Darrow as yes, and I'm afraid Errol the Swamp Dragon.
Well, I agree with Steal the Show, but I have to say, with the We Three Men,
they would
steal the show.
Why was the first Tiffany Aching book an important character? I like the McFeagles. I didn't relate to Tiffany. She's a little girl. I'm not. And
you're a small blue thieving Scottish.
Who are you calling Scottish? See you, Jimmy.
I'll tell you what, I can so see David Tennant doing that.
That'd be amazing.
You just want to see everything killed.
Actually, no. Doing We Three Men, and as you're saying, like you've got people in costume, if you could get a bunch of kids and McFeagles causing trouble in the audience before the play.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Would be funny.
Yeah, it would be great. You could easily do that. Yeah. So I just did Peter Pan, and we had a fantastic bunch of lost boys. They were all girls, obviously, because virtually all of them. And they were great. They stole the show because they were just so kind of sparky and so. But they were brilliant. But there's always something that steals the show. At the moment, they're in rehearsal. Obviously, it changes. My granny and nanny are hysterical. They're very funny as well. But Walter, at the moment, I think one of our favourite scene stealers is Walter, and all he does on one scene is he does something else as well. He also clears tea things. There's a scene where Saltcellar and Bucket are discussing the high philosophical kind of like opera and what is opera, what is theatre, what is making money, and all of that sort of thing. Because Bucket really doesn't get it at all, and they're discussing that. And my actor that's playing Walter comes in and just clears the tea things. Hysterical, absolutely hysterical. And it's really little, but he just is there, and he's just totally in character, because we did some workshop things about characters, which was great fun, because first thing I did was we did some workshops and talked about the characters, talked about the different people, and then trying to explain these characters to people who didn't know them. It was fun, but it's kind of thinking, right, so who, okay, right, but then we did some workshop things, and we just did some improvisation. So these are your characters, these are your character traits. Just talk to each other, and it was great, because as insecure actors, they had their scripts, you really don't need your scripts, because you're not touching the scripts for the moment. Just being the different characters. So put your scripts down there, and it was like, oh, put my script down. I want my words there, my words. So before you even touch the words, you have to know who you are and why you're reacting like you're going to react. So no scripts. So that was it. But yeah, so all Walter does is kind of like has the tea tray, and you can just see the kind of the complications and the kind of things going through his head and he counts the cups, and there's one cup missing, and he's looking around for it, and Saltcellar or Bucket is holding the cup, and it's kind of, and then you can see, how am I going to get the cup off him? I'm supposed to clear the tea things, and he's got one of the tea things, and it just steals, that just absolutely does steal the scene. So, but it is good fun. So.
Remind you of anything?
Yeah, not he doesn't do it in a purposeful way. I mean, he's not upstaging. He's doing it perfectly in character, which just adds to it. Just makes it. Excuse me, my coffee. Reminded me that. Yeah.
We'll be sat here in Chip Botty's talking to listening to guests, so please.
Yeah.
I think it was the fact that the people that you did in the studio are actually becoming the stars of the show.
Yeah.
Very interactive.
I think we should have made them do an act in the Maskerade.
Definitely. Definitely.
present different challenges to acting period or PG Woodhouse? What are the different challenges, or if there are any?
I don't think that there are particularly because Maskerade is real. It's not a fantasy. It's real. That is what it is. It's a real world. It's real people. It's real characters. They all have character traits. So yeah, it actually this piece particularly does work, and they're all very down to earth. And they're very they're not otherworldly. They are of the disc world which we've created and things. So yeah, it's not particularly. There are difficulties, as I said, trying to get Grebo to appear from a cat basket, you know, in a little cat to do your 6'4" guy, which also then actually brought photos.
No, obviously I couldn't take a 6'4".
Yeah, so little things like that, and Death of Rats, which was I was possibly thinking of the kind of the puppet type thing, but we're going to use the puppet at the other thing. So yeah, there are technical difficulties in that way, but actually this show is very grounded, and so. But if I was doing, like I said, Lords and Ladies, that would have created, you know, a lot of other kind of difficulties. But there are things like, you know, how you make them appear from one end to another, suddenly to another. And my main problem at the moment is how Grebo then changes, morphs, and disappears. So that's another fun thing when all the thieves all come and not thieves, the Opera House people are all attacking, so and chasing, and the mob are chasing. So that's it. Because as I said, Grebo is 6'4", and my mob are all not that tall. So it's so they have to. So how you make them appear a lot taller is going to be a bit of fun. But
you got a good ghost along. Somebody do a good ghost along.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very good. We've also used recording as well. So we've recorded various pieces and put some effects on it. So Agnes, and when Agnes goes down and explores the cellars, and she has then a conversation with herself as Perdita. We've tried it in various ways, and so we're currently going with the Perdita voice is recorded. So she speaks as Agnes, but then the Perdita voice kind of echoes around the room around her head. So we're trying that, and I think that will work pretty well. So getting all the sound effects in at the right time are going to be fun.
So when are we going to see you at Winchester?
I'd love to come. I'm busy this one, actually. Yeah, I know. I would love to come.
No, it finishes on Saturday. You can always come on Sunday.
Yeah, is it on Sunday? Well, I'll be up there. Yeah.
There's another one in May, first May bank holidays.
Oh, really? Okay.
The wedding, haven't we?
Oh, another one. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
We had the same wedding last which
Really away.
Sunday and Christmas.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They haven't put up a wedding list yet, have they?
No, I don't think they're doing
I
it
don't
right.
think that
I don't think they're the drama queens that Perry Butcher. How many times do you actually get married?
So if
That was
Yes.
it's not really a theatre space.
No, not at all.
So
Well, it has a stage, but it's a terrible
So,
space.
so how difficult is that to sort of stretch something in a non-theatre environment to a proper theatre? Because you have a lot of sort of behind the scenes things that actually help you stage shows, which in a non-theatre space you wouldn't have. So you have to bring in all that.
Yeah. As I said, that was actually one of the difficulties, because Stephen has adapted it, and obviously it's been performed on a stage space with quite a specific set. And when you have something in your head, you can then it all fits in, it all works. So my production is nothing like how it's been set. So that's a difficulty. My productions tend to be much more simplistic. So I don't tend to have a totally realistic set. So if I was doing an office, there wouldn't be kind of like an ornate desk with a chair and a lamp and a plant in the corner and etc. The office would be, you know, a desk and a chair, because those are the things you need. So it's just very much an impression. And then you create the space, and you create it through your action and your words. And as I said, the words are so brilliantly done, and it just creates the space. This space, the town hall, is really brilliant for the piece. It just automatically has that kind of gothic feel to it. So it's like half the job's done. Also, I don't tend to do a production where you do a blackout, stage crew come on, change the set. I generally have my set changing and my props changing as very much part of the piece. So somebody will walk on carrying a chair and then sort of sit down on it. So that's what I tend to do. So it's part of the piece.
Yeah, I don't know if you've anybody here has ever visited the Liverpool Theatre in Abingdon. The one that Steph Reese actually writes for.
Yes,
so that is a very small, intimate theatre.
Exactly.
With very little in the way of scenery or equipment. So really, these plays are designed for that sort of setting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is different if you, because you're used to working in a space, no? Because as I said, I've been doing seasons out at Sturts, and that's a fantastic space. It's like an open air amphitheatre space, like a circus. Or it's almost like a circus tent. You've got like almost like a ring, and then the seats are raked up, and then you've got a tent, kind of tented canopy, and you've got amazing balconies, and so that space is so versatile, because you've got levels, and you can have people coming in at the top, underneath, down through the audience. It's one I just did Peter Pan, and I wanted to make him fly. I don't never do things simply, do I? So I wanted to make him fly. Of course, if you're in a theatre space, it's relatively simple, you know. If you're in a theatre space, it would be simple, because you've got tend to have fly towers and fly tracks. And that's obviously in an open air space there wasn't. So I had to get the circus in. So we got the circus in to build a great big kind of circus, kind of like a fly tower. So kind of a big square kind of box thing, which was totally in the middle of it and very visual, and you could see it, so there's no way of hiding it. So you don't hide it, so it's there, and they used it, they hid on it, they climbed on it, and it was there to be used. So, and they flew, so it worked well. But yeah, so spaces, and then obviously once you come from there to somewhere else, it's really difficult, because if you've worked all summer there with all of that versatility, you go somewhere else, you go, oh, I can't make them do that, can I? And it's getting, so yeah, so if you're used to writing or devising something for a set space, it works perfectly for that space. Trying to get a vision to make it work somewhere else is a bit tricky, but yeah, I love this play, so and it just fitted in that space, so yeah, so you make it work. No, I haven't.
Because that is literally an empty stage with two men and a basket and a chair.
Yeah.
And it's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is that in London?
Yeah, I've seen it in theatre
a few times.
And I saw it at a local theatre, which was actually not ideal for it. But I knew there's a scream at one point at the back of the theatre, and every single person in the theatre jumps 3 foot in the air and then looks at everybody and giggles nervously. I know it's coming, and I still jump.
I know.
Yeah, that always gets me up. I've seen it over the years. I've seen it 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And I take people to see it.
Bruises on my arm, but they're great.
Yeah.
But that is literally, like you say, it's all.
It's very minimalistic, and what I like about it is they every 3-4 years or so they change the cast over. So it's always something new, because I think that brings something new.
Yes, definitely.
What? Woman in Black?
Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
The Woman in Black cannot be a musical.
No. Yeah.
What bubble Christmas carol?
Yeah. Although actually that's not bad.
Yeah.
Also, was a Disney Christmas carol.
I know, Muppets was better.
Yeah, I just love it.
If we're
I mean, I
talking
could never
puppets-
imagine that as a musical as well, but it really
If
works.
we're talking puppets, there was only one puppet thing you should never take a chance to see.
Avenue Q.
They stopped it now.
I know.
But they've taken it off because it's touring in March.
Is
Oh,
it?
it's good.
Oh, cool. That's good.
So yeah, so that's why they've taken it off.
I've taken all my German friends coming over.
Yeah.
I've taken them to see Avenue Q because I said, if you want to see one musical, see this one.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Absolutely fantastic.
This does take a chance.
No, it's not.
Definitely not suitable for a child.
I didn't.
That is a problem to explain it.
Yeah.
You want them to see a puppet show. And I said, oh, that's for kids. I'm
Yeah.
like,
No. I didn't understand it when I saw clips on an awards.
Yeah,
And I thought at the Tony's, I
variety
think.
shows.
Yeah, and I
It
saw
was
clips.
on-
And I was thinking, I just don't get it because I can't see, like the puppeteers, you can very much see them, and so what, are they part of the hidden? I don't. And I thought, oh, that one piece, I thought, songs are good. I wasn't that, I thought, oh, okay, I don't know that I'm that impressed. Look, listen to the music's amazing, it's really good. And the words are very clever and very funny. And I thought, okay, fine. And then when I was working in London, I went up and I was thinking, oh, what shall I do? I'll pop and have a look at that, see what I like, see what it is. Because they were doing brilliant tickets at like £10 a ticket on a Monday night. So I was thinking, well, sounds good to me. So I went along and had a look and loved it. It was hysterical, really cleverly done, very adult. And you just, again, for the first few minutes, you see the puppeteers. And then after that, you just don't see them. And at one point, there's one girl who has two puppets, and they're having a stand-up row with each other.
Yeah.
And I was watching them, and was watching the stand-up row, and was just totally engrossed in the stand-up row with these two puppets. And then my friend said, "Isn't it amazing how she does that two voices?" And then you're going, "Oh yeah, of course." And she's standing there. She's not hidden. She's standing there, and she's just doing, and all of a sudden you think, "Of course, it's her." But because she's just so so sort of like committed to it, is that she has the two voices, and it's just so slick, brilliant, really good. But yeah, don't take children.
When they were on a variety show, you realise why they did the song they did. It's the only one they could have done on national TV.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of the songs are kind of like, you think, oh yeah, this is old, oh, this is, oh yeah, maybe not.
One of the funniest I thought was Everybody's a Little Bit Racist.
Yeah.
That is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
She was listening, she's never seen it, but she was listening to, I've got the soundtrack.
So, yeah,
She was listening to My Girlfriend Who Lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good as well.
The bit about the sofa and the cooking.
Yeah.
She fell off the sofa. You said, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good. It is one of those songs you sing along to, and like, the internet is really, I think, oh no, maybe this, and they're very catchy, and you're going, yeah, no, maybe we shouldn't sing that.
Certainly not going round shopping the next day.
Yeah.
I wonder if they changed the caretaker now. Because he died, Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
The real life character.
Yeah.
Caretaker.
I don't know, possibly.
He died this year. So.
Yeah. I mean, he is very, the Gary Coleman thing is very, it could be worse, it could be Gary Coleman, but possibly they might feel it's, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's taste and there's respect as well, isn't there? So, but no, that is a brilliant show, so.
So will we see you?
So are you actually going
Yeah,
to theatre a lot? Being a director and actually stuff?
Yeah, I go and see as much as I possibly can. Any piece of theatre I can. I went to see Three Little Pigs at the Drum Theatre the other day, which was like a kids' one. I do children's, I do theatre and education in schools as well, so it's just any piece of theatre I can, I go and see really, so, because it's just important to be able to see as many different types of things, good, bad or indifferent really. So.
Yeah, I'm lucky or unlucky, depending on how you see it, that I found work in London. And even though I do weekly commuting and sometimes get on my nerves, I mean, London, especially the National, you have so much choice. You have so much opportunity to actually see brilliant productions. It's not the big musicals where every tourist is going. It's all the little ones that you know all around, and some of them are really amazing.
But mind you, I was impressed with Dan here because I used to live in London, but I was really impressed that with the quality of the stuff we get at the Theatre Royal, Theatre Royal and the drums are really good, and they get some very good kind of productions there. So.
Steph Reese, which will never happen with some Shakespeare Globe Theatre.
Oh yeah.
That would be so. I mean, I don't know how much, but Weak Sisters would be good. It's so. I mean, I can see it in my head now. The atmosphere, the set, the everything. And then everybody went in costumes.
They're actually because
they could do. I don't know how many non-Shakespeare plays they do there, but
they're doing quite a bit.
No, if you really want, or if you want a real chance,
Minak's good,
I'd love to live in the Temple on Wednesday.
The Regent's Park outdoor, the open air one.
That's a gorgeous place.
I mean, I've seen the.
That was
A funny thing happened to me on the Warrington Forum. I saw that, and I was really falling off my chair.
The funny thing
It was absolutely hilarious.
It can be. You have to find the right space for the right show, and that's it. But you do sometimes find it. Like I wouldn't want to do. We did Weird Sisters at the town hall, and it was all right. I was just acting in it, and it was okay, but it just didn't quite. It was on the stage part of it, and it just didn't use the space properly as a space. I'm confident that the space as a town hall just works brilliantly and adds to it. Having worked at Sturts, that space, you've got to find the right show for it. With Peter Pan, it was great because you could create Neverland out of that, because there's so much greenery there, and so you can create it there. And likewise, you can change it from kind of like grey and dowdy London to kind of like bright and amazing Neverland, so quite quickly and quite easily. So you've got to find the right space for the right show. So,
Did you see Lord of the Rings?
No. I missed it.
They brought greenery and vines and setting out about three or four of the first boxes all the way up.
And there were hobbits wandering around and hobbits wandering around. It was dreadful. They put it to music.
Music was appalling.
I'd heard the sound, the set was amazing.
Orcs and
They had sort of like a mini break.
That would sound me.
Where they had weird creatures running all over the audience trying to scare people. And, But I thought the worst thing was the fairy music.
No, the worst thing was the choking point of the song between Aragorn and Arthur.
They're often in a musical. There often is the filler song.
It's a song that goes
like this. Oh, that is perfect.
This is pointless, and I said it's a song
that goes like this.
We laughed through the whole rest of the production. Every time we caught each other's eyes, we started laughing. This lady standing trying to be very quiet, and I'm shaking the seat as I'm laughing. It's like glaring at me. I'm sorry, it's just.
And then you can't. Then it gets in your head. You're going, once in every show, there comes a song like this. It starts off. This is a song that goes like this. But that is good fun. Anybody else? Any questions?
Are you going to do it again? Because unfortunately I'm going to miss it.
Oh, shame. Well, I was saying I'd like to.
I would love to go.
Yeah, I think the Tavonians have got a summer production of a Shakespeare summer production in Buckland and Derby in the summer, of the Taming of the Shrew in the summer. I was there thinking to myself, in a way I wish that wouldn't happen because I'd like this to do. So, but possibly I would like to take it to Buckland Abbey because again that would work. It would work beautifully in the Great Barn there. So we might be able to revive it later and hopefully able to do that. So it all depends. I don't know what I'll have in the summer. So, but it's a long time. But yeah, that might be a possibility. So yeah, we'll do. So any questions? Well, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been really lovely. Thank you for inviting me. It's been brilliant. And hopefully I'll see you at Wing Canton at some point.